Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. In today's video I am so excited. I managed to get my hands on the brand spanking new collection liquid blush wands. I also got the highlight wand and I also got the e.l.f. Halo Glow wand in Rosé You Slay. And today's video is specifically just going to be comparing the collection ones to the e.l.f. Halo Glow ones, because of course these ones have gone so viral, everybody is talking about them, and I want to know what the hype is about. I also want to know how these ones compare, because these ones are quite a lot cheaper. I think, if I remember rightly off the top of my head, which I might be wrong here, but I think that these ones were £9 and the collection ones were £5.99, I do believe. So that is like, you know, I got all three of these, and if I had got every shade of these, that would have been a large difference. Obviously I just got the one colour in this. I did get all three of these, so I'm going to be comparing these today. I'm hoping there's going to be a blush shade that matches this quite closely. I will also say there is a lot of new products on the collection website at the minute. They are launching so many products that look incredible, and of course I got my hands on quite a few, so if you want to see a full face of the new collection products, that will be coming soon, but today is just a comparison between the two, so let's dive straight on in, shall we? Okay, so first up, this is what the collection product looks like. So this is the Collection Cosmetics Filter Finish Liquid Blush Light Wand, and this is in the shade Sweet Nothings. So it has the same applicator as what you would expect. It has the little sponge tip applicator, you squeeze the product out. The only thing is, these ones don't have a lock on them. Quite a few products that are in this sort of packaging, they have a lock where you twist this bit at the end to stop the product coming out when you put the lid on. When you screw this lid on, it pushes this black bit up here and it stops it coming out whilst it's like in your makeup bag or whatever, but it is slightly messier, I feel, than one that has that twisty lock. Either way, I do quite enjoy this packaging, so let's squeeze a little bit out. There we go. So like I say, this is Sweet Nothing, and that is what that shade looks like. Now obviously I am incredibly fair, so if it's going to show up on anybody, it's going to show up on me. I do feel like that is a very, very light colour, even for me. I will also say this packaging, as I was literally just saying that I quite like it, it's all sort of coming out like round the back of the sponge, which is a little bit strange, but if the product is decent, if the colour is decent, if it blends out on my face, etc., I don't mind that. It's very glowy. I would say that the actual like pinkness of that isn't showing up necessarily as much as I thought it would. So that's how it looks in the tube. It's got the little window, so that's the actual product down here, and I feel like it's perhaps a little sheerer than maybe what I was expecting, but let's swatch the other shade. So this is what the colour looks like on this one, and this is called Peach Pleasure. This is the one that I feel like looks a little bit more similar to the Rosé You Slay shade, which I think, if I remember rightly, is the one that people say is the dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one. This sponge tip is much cleaner. As I was squeezing out that other one, it was all coming out around the back of the sponge down here, whereas this is just coming out of the top. So that is what that colour is looking like. Ooh, it's like the same colour as my t-shirt. I didn't plan that. I promise I didn't plan that. But that colour is much more pigmented. That is showing up much more, even on my very fair skin. That first one wasn't showing up too much. I really, really like that colour, and I feel like a small amount of that across the cheeks, like blended right out, that will be beautiful. And it almost looks as though this one, the Sweet Nothing shade, the first one, I feel like that is looking on my skin tone more like a highlighter. I mean, obviously it's like a blush lighter. It does have that radiance in it, but I feel like the radiance in this second shade, Peach Pleasure, I feel like that is more wearable for me as a blush. So this is what the e.l.f. one looks like, and like I say, on first reaction, I feel like that second shade, Peach Pleasure, I feel like that will be a little bit closer to the e.l.f. one, and I do prefer that one like on the hand swatch. So let's see what this one looks like next to it. This wand is also much smaller, so that is the actual size comparison. How much do we get in these? Oh, so there isn't actually that much difference. In the e.l.f. one there's 10 millilitres and the collection one there's 12. But that looks considerably bigger, doesn't it? And again, this one doesn't have a lock. It's got a much smaller sponge on the top, so pros and cons, you can be a little bit more precise with it. Let's squeeze some of this out and see what this colour looks like in comparison to that collection one. Yeah, they look very, very similar, don't they? So this is the collection Peach Pleasure, and this is the e.l.f. Rosé You Slay. And I feel like on the skin, they are going to look exactly the same. I would say that the e.l.f. one is maybe slightly more reflective, slightly more glowy, but really once that's blended out on the skin, I don't feel like that's going to be any different. I feel like you could probably use either of those. I will also say, just while you're zoomed in, this is kitten scratches. I'm absolutely covered in them. And whilst you're zoomed in, I will show you what this collection highlight wand looks like as well. So this is in the shade 1 Strobe Light. This was obviously the lightest shade. I just went for the one that I thought would be best for my skin tone, and I do like a liquid highlight like this. So that's what that one looks like. It's more subtle than what I was expecting that to be. It is pretty much the same colour as my skin, which of course is grand. I really, really like that though. That's very softly glowy, if that makes any sort of sense. So I obviously have all of my base products on. I haven't set anything. I don't have any powder or anything on my skin. I used a cream bronzer stick to add a little bit of colour, but I don't have any sort of powders on, so that we can really see how this will all blend into the skin. I'm going to do the collection on one side and the e.l.f. on the other, and it does say on the packaging for both of these that you can blend these out with your hands. I don't generally like to do that. I do like to use like brushes and tools and things. I have two of exactly the same brushes. Both of these are clean. There's no product on them. We're going to see how we can blend all of these out with a brush, and the brush that I'm using is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I always use these brushes for cream bronzer, cream blush, all of that sort of thing, so this is what I'm used to. I will use what I'm comfortable with. So I'll start with the collection one, and I will put this on this side. I will also say, normally when I use products like this, I would take the applicator and put it onto the brush, but for the purposes of this video and for science, I'm going to just apply this straight onto my face. I'll do one side and blend it out, and then I'll do the other. So like I said, this is the collection Peach Pleasure. I'm going to squeeze a little bit up, tap on a little bit. Obviously I don't mean a little bit. I always go very, very crazy with blush, and I will take that brush and start tapping it in. You just saw in real time how quick that blended out. Oh my goodness. I feel like half of my face looks like me and half of my face doesn't look like me now. Okay, so that blended out like an absolute dream. That took absolutely no time at all. I just had to tap over that a couple of times and that has blended. That is incredible, and that looks so nice and dewy. I wouldn't necessarily put a highlight on over the top of this. I don't feel like I need it. I am going to do the e.l.f. on this side, and this applicator is very much smaller, so I'm interested to see how much easier or harder it is to use such a tiny little applicator. I have never seen a wand like this sort of product with such a tiny little sponge on the end. It does look a little bit almost like it's miniature makeup, if that makes sense. So I feel like I probably have around about the same amount of product on there now, question mark. And I'm taking the clean brush and I will tap over this side. Okay, I feel like that is very much more pigmented. Obviously, like, it's hard to tell if I did actually have more product on that side. I may well have done, but that feels very much more pigmented on that side. Okay, so aside from the fact that I think I just put too much on this side, that colour looks pretty much the same, doesn't it? Like, that colour looks very, very similar. I will just bounce over with my sponge that has a little bit of that foundation still left on it, and I will just try and dial down this side a little bit. I think I probably just put a little bit more on that side, but wow, how similar does that look? I actually think, on first impression, I think I prefer the collection one, because the applicator was bigger, so I could actually do the dots and then it blended out. Both sides feel the same to the touch. They don't feel sticky. Obviously I've literally only just done them, but they don't feel sticky. It does feel like it's setting down, which is quite nice. I'm not going to try the highlight wand today. I will save that for that collection video that I was telling you about, but I am so happy with how that looks. Wow, what a find. Let me know if you have tried any of these. If you've tried the collection ones, what do you think of them? I think they have them in Superdrug now. I'm sure I saw that they have them in like Superdrug stores now, so you can go and get them if you're wanting them. But wow, like the e.l.f. one, rightly so, I feel like looks beautiful, gets the hype. But these ones are cheaper, they have more product in them. I feel like it was easier to apply, and I feel like really the colour looks the same. The glow looks the same. I'm interested to see how these will wear. I will leave it in the description box how these wear, but as you're seeing this, I'm filming this like 24 hours before. So I won't have time to do like a full wear test, but I can give you a few thoughts. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you decide to pick either of these up. I am thrilled. I am so thrilled that I managed to get my hands on these. I think that this looks incredible. You can't get me away from a glowy blush at the best of times, but now I'm going to be living my glowy blush life. So let me know what you think. As always, I will leave everything linked down below. If you are new here and you like makeup, you like beauty reviews, you like swatches, you like testing products, all of that good stuff, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. I do videos like this 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday. This week I did an extra one because there's just so many new launches coming out at the minute, and obviously I get overexcited about all of them. So if you want to see those, you can subscribe down below and you'll get a little notification every time I post a new video. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye!